Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the Meritocracy Party. I'm the DeadCowboy, and I'm here to share a little bit of information with you about what the Meritocracy Party is about. Let me drink my beer. What is meritocracy, you might ask? This very video right here could be considered a primer for meritocracy. Now, this is my first video about meritocracy as the DeadCowboy. There will be more videos to come to further elucidate the subject of meritocracy. So without further ado, let me get straight to the point. I'm going to start by quoting Nietzsche, famous philosopher. As Nietzsche says, quote, "Success has always been the greatest liar," end quote. As meritocracy would say, money has always been the greatest liar. And of course, they go hand in hand. In fact, in America, success and money are the same thing. The American dream is strictly a financial dream. It is not a dream of the human spirit, of human creativity, of human intelligence, human will, human art, human aspiration, freedom, greatness, etc., etc. It's just a dream of vast, vulgar wealth and status. The insight to this is, if you dream of nothing but money, you will be ruled by those who have all the money. The capitalists, the 1%, the ownership class, as even George Carlin pointed out, the comedian. Americans dream only of wealth. Speaking of George Carlin, let's just quote him real quick. Quote, "The real owners are the big wealthy business interests that control things and make all the important decisions. And now they're coming for your Social Security. They want your fucking retirement money. They want it back so they can give it to their criminal friends on Wall Street." When you decide to dream of anything other than money, when you dream of something other than wealth and status, then the rich elite can have no power over you. When they cease to control your dreams, they cease to control you. Their task all along, since the dawn of time, has been to give you a false consciousness, a false dream. They want you to dream of them, to worship them, to always be thinking of money and those who have it. That's why you're immersed in celebrity culture. That's why everybody is immersed in celebrity culture. It's a two-tier society we live in. Those on the very top and those on the very bottom. There is no such thing as a poor celebrity. There is no such thing as an intelligent celebrity. You do not become a celebrity by being smart. The smartest mathematicians in America are the most anonymous people in America. It's in fact time for all of us to dream differently, to dream better, to dream higher, to not dream of money, but to dream of human greatness and glory. Just like the cowboy. The cowboy is dead, as Plato said. Quote, "All the gold which is under or upon the earth is not enough to give in exchange for virtue." A nation defined by money can never accomplish greatness. It is opposed to the blood, to the human spirit, to the will, to greatness itself. As quoted from Oxfam.org, Oxfam report titled "An Economy for the 99%" shows that the gap between rich and poor is far greater than had been feared. It details how big businesses and the super rich are fueling the inequality crisis by dodging taxes, driving down wages, and using their power to influence politics. It calls for a fundamental change in the way we manage our economies so that they work for all people and not just a fortunate few. The study done by Oxfam says that just 8 men own the same wealth as half of the world. Executive Director of Oxfam International said, quote, It is obscene for so much wealth to be held in the hands of so few when 1 in 10 people survive on less than $2 a day. Inequality is trapping hundreds of millions in poverty. It is fracturing our societies and undermining democracy. Across the world, people are being left behind. Their wages are stagnating, yet corporate bosses take home million-dollar bonuses. Their health and education services are cut while corporations and the super rich dodge their taxes. Their voices are ignored as governments sing to the tune of big business and a wealthy elite. Yet another quote from Oxfam.org: contrary to popular belief, many of the super rich are not, quote, self-made. Oxfam analysis shows over half the world's billionaires either inherited their wealth or accumulated through industries which are prone to corruption and cronyism. As Congressman X said in the revealing and sensational book released in 2016, The Confessions of Congressman X, quote, voters claim they're too busy to keep up with what's going on in Washington, like being busy were some kind of modern-day affliction. Fact is, a lot of these folks are too busy watching out for themselves, crafting their fictional brand on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram. All of the world's a stage, and they want to be the star. I know. We're no different than the narcissists we represent. We're out for ourselves. We lie when necessary, and money is everything. Laughs. There's no business like show business. It's far easier than you think to manipulate a nation of naive, self-absorbed sheep who crave instant gratification. Things are so partisan today, most folks vote the straight party line, even though they don't know shit about who they're voting for. They just don't want the other guys to win. End quote, Congressman X. As we see, of course, democracy has failed. But what is meritocracy about? Back to meritocracy. The major premise of meritocracy is merit. Anyone who inherited wealth or cut corners to get it did not merit it. Another idea discussed in the meritocratic party is the possibility of having a wealth cap. What that means is, over an unnecessary amount of accumulated wealth the individual or private enterprise/family will have to share with the state to provide government programs such as community college, public transportation, even food, shelter, and basic needs. Not so that the public can sit around and be lazy, as so many paid-off politicians will tell you as they promote the myth of the so-called welfare state. Rather, so that the public can work harder on things that are much more interesting and useful to society, that even the public enjoys doing with their time. Everything from medicine to technology to mathematics to space travel to poetry to music to writing and all of the arts. The progression of culture, science, and technology and all of humanity. The progression of our race of humanity. That's what the state should be promoting. That's what meritocracy is about. It's not based on wealth, inheritance, or birth, or sex, or race, or sexual orientation. What is meritocracy as an ideology? Meritocracy has no classes. All reward is based on merit. But, you have to understand that there's a huge difference between ideologies and the way they have been practiced. For example, in ancient Athens, the Athenians practiced a much different form of democracy than we practice today. Today we practice a capitalist oligarchy that we label with the word democracy, but it is basically no different from a socialist Soviet Union. We live in a communist China. We live in a North Korea right now, but it's in the form of, the so-called American democracy and capitalism. It's no different from the communism of North Korea. That's why, why do you think, our leaders are all buddy-buddy? The rich stay rich, the powerful stay powerful, everything is essentially free for the super rich, and they have virtually unlimited resources to keep it that way indefinitely, just like they always have. That's the way it's been, that's the way it'll always be. Of course, in contrast to this reality, we have the meritocracy party and the ideology of meritocracy, along with the liberating religion of Hyperionism. which are in fact the cure to wealth inequality, our so-called democracy, and the perpetual wealth inequality that is exponentially getting more devastating for the working. Feel free to ask questions in the comments, and I will definitely elucidate and further explain what meritocracy is about.
It's hard introducing yourself when you're death, your death itself,
But, unlike democracy, meritocracy has evolved and continues to evolve since Pythagoras' time. Just like Hyperionism continues to evolve. Some of these religions and ideologies, political ideologies, they don't evolve. They've stayed the same. Like, look at the Constitution of the United States, for example. It still has slavery in there. It hasn't evolved with the times. And so the beautiful thing about meritocracy is that it within its very constitution is that it evolves with the times, and it has evolved with the times, although it has remained underground. And the other thing about it is that even though the ideas of meritocracy have been around since Plato's Republic, they have never been put into practice throughout all of history. Meritocracy will put experts back where they belong, instead of putting spoiled brats in their places that know nothing about what they're doing, and unelected, unmerited, financial, elite-backed politicians running everything. This isn't about right or left politics. This is about the people versus the powers that be. And this is what the Meritocracy Party accomplishes. This has been a very short introduction to Meritocracy Party. I've tried to cover as many topics as I could. I even ranted on some ideas. In closing, the Dead Cowboy would like to welcome you to the Meritocracy Party. I would like to also quote Plato, who said, "There will be no end to the troubles of states or of humanity itself, till philosophers become kings in this world, or till those we now call kings and rulers really and truly become philosophers, and political power and philosophy thus come into the same hands." Meritocracy is the answer. I'm the Dead Cowboy. I'm already dead. Been dead. I'll always be dead. Thank you for watching, and welcome to the Meritocracy Party. Ad Astra. To the stars.